Hi guys, thank you for coming to the Founders Live. Let me
Hi,
introduce
everybody.
Marina, yes, please show introduction.
Hi, everybody. Thank you, Manana, for inviting me. So I'm a medical doctor by training. I'll tell a little bit about my bio. So I'm a medical doctor by training, and I specialize in infectious diseases and vaccination. And I was involved in clinical trials and research, so I knew nothing about dentistry, about dental aligners at all. And I just found out about them in 2013 from a friend of mine. And I was excited how the technology could change people's lives. I reached out to orthodontists and asked them when and why did they use aligners, when and why did they use braces, and what are aligners. Like aligners are plastic transparent trays which incrementally move teeth. And so I was really excited that, and I was like, I thought that we could develop a product which could like compete with braces, because at that time in 2013, orthodontists used aligners for 10% of their patients to treat like mild cosmetic cases, like a little bit aligned teeth, and they used braces for 90% of their patients, to correct occlusion, to correct bite, just to provide their orthodontic treatment, not just aesthetics. And so I found, and in 2014, I founded the company, and our goal was to develop a product, a medical device, aligners, which could compete with braces, which could be as effective or even more effective as braces. So at 3D Predict right now, we utilize AI to improve patient outcomes. So orthodontists use 3D Predict dental aligners instead of braces to treat most of their patients, and due to like our predictability, they can do it 30% faster. But first of all, they can use aligners to treat complicated cases.
Yeah, and my first question, what's going on? What is the next big thing in technology and medical and in artificial, and that's what it should be beyond like the next 15 years?
In our industry, in our domain in orthodontics and dentistry, I think we will use more and more AI. So first of all, we have data. We like starting to collect data, to use them to improve algorithms. And now we know how to use it and how to use them, to improve patient outcomes. Because maybe 5 years ago, we just tried, let's try it, like if it would improve patient outcomes or not. And right now we know that it could. And at the end of the day, we could provide doctors with more efficient, with the more predictable tools, so they could provide the better treatment for their patients. And I think it's also in dentistry and in healthcare in general. We will never substitute a doctor, so clinician will always be the most important, person in any treatment. But we could create for them an effective tools which could make the treatment more efficient, more safe, or maybe it could be used to treat diseases which now, for example, couldn't be treated.
Mm-hmm. Let's talk about startups. What is your like a superpower?
I think I'm resilient, and it's really you need it when you do a startup. And also I'm a quick learner, because for example, when I like thinking about what I was doing 6 months ago and the same thing how I do it right now, it's a big difference. And so the only thing how you can grow the startup is, to be a quick learner and, to lead the team. And so then your startup will also change very fast, and that's how you grow. And also be resilient, because you have a plan, but, sometimes you need to change it, but still lead the company to the goal which you have.
What do you think about remote work? How are you feeling about this? Yeah, maybe something interesting about your startup, about your lifestyle.
For me, I was suffering for the first maybe couple of months, because I really love going to office. I really love interaction with my colleagues. I really love meeting my customers. So I was really suffering. And but right now, maybe I still see a lot of benefits from here, because I don't spend a lot of time on commute, so I'm more efficient, and I can make more meetings during the day, so it's also really good. But and also maybe in July, in June, we asked all our employees how they are dealing with that. And some of them were really happy to have this remote work. Some of my employees, they really improved their productivity dramatically by switching, to this remote work. And others were, really suffering. They wanted to see colleagues, go to the office. But I think it depends on the employees. If they have ownership of what they're doing, if they are responsible, they can work from any place.
And what is your advice for the startups? How they can stay alive now? Maybe it should be like there's something specific. What is the best skills to be a unicorn founder in biotech specifically, medical technology or artificial intelligence?
So I think it's to answer your first question, how to survive right now, like during this crisis or any other crisis. I think you need to be resilient, to stay focused and do like the priority things, and spend budget only on the things which should come first. And but these skills will also help you, to build a unicorn, to do the first things first, to be focused on your product, on the development of the product, on sales and marketing. I think, there are the same skills which would help you in to survive and to build unicorn.
And what is the most challenging for your team today? For your startup, maybe something. Let's talk about investors.
So we have
fundraising,
for 7 years, the company is 7 years old now, and we bootstrapped the company so far. For example, in Russia, we have 30% of the aligner segment. And last year, actually almost 1 year ago, on February 24th, 2020, 3D Predict aligners were approved by FDA in the US. So we could sell our product to American orthodontists. And last year, we launched sales in the United States. And right now, it's the biggest challenge for us, to launch sales in a new market. And we have a developed product. It had been clinically proven, but still it's a new environment, new market. And right now, it's difficult to meet people, to meet customers, just because of these restrictions. So I think right now it's a major challenge for us, to launch sales effectively.
Mm-hmm. What do you think? What are the best investment opportunities in artificial intelligence and MedTech technologies?
I think for example, orthodontics. Right now, orthodontics is growing. Due to COVID, doctors switched from braces to aligners because they could not really effectively treat patients using braces, because they need to see patients every 6 weeks. And right now, the aligner segment is growing dramatically. And I think it's a really great opportunity, to grow in the growing segments. So at least something good, from there, from COVID. But also, I think all companies which use AI, and first of all, if they have a data set, and if they use this data set to create the algorithms to improve the efficiency, I think they're good for investments.
Wow. What do you think, if you talk about storytelling, before the COVID and after, what's going on with your community strategy?
We work.
And why you start 3D Smile?
So there is almost no difference between before and after.
Really? Why?
Yeah, because we work with orthodontists. So we sell medical device, 3D Predict dental aligners to orthodontists, and then they use our aligners to treat their patients. So we've developed a technology which they can use to treat their patients. So, and what's most important for them is if we could move teeth or not. So before COVID and after COVID, we just talking with them about effectiveness, which cases they could treat using our devices. So the clinicians, they want to have an effective tool to treat their patients. So that's why our strategy didn't really change a lot after COVID. Of course, right now we also talking a little bit more about the frequency of patients' visits to dental office, just because with predict dental liners, patients could come to orthodontic office 30% less, and at the same time to have the same clinical, effectiveness. But on general, before and after, and I think in the future we will talk mostly about safety and effectiveness, just because we sell like a medical device for orthodontists, and they use it to treat complicated cases instead of braces.
What is as the single most important technology
in orthodontics or in healthcare?
In healthcare. That is going to be impact us actually after the COVID and like the next maybe like 3-5 years.
I think their like ability to treat patients remotely at some kind, to provide more traction. So this like software which allows to predict treatment and to provide the remote monitoring of the patient treatment. I think they will really change the way healthcare works. Maybe also would make it like more efficient, I think.
What do you think about investors? How to find the right guys? Or in general? Because because you're a female founder, it's completely different.
Yeah. I don't have experience, to compare, just because until now we've bootstrapped the company. But right now, I started fundraising in October, like 4 months ago, and I think it's the same with customers or employees or any partners. You just meet them and you understand if you have the same goals, the same vision, the same values, and that's how there is a match. What they're going to, what their goals, from investments, what your goals, and that's how you could match. And of course, for different companies, for different stages, there are different investors. Some investors are good on this stage, some investors are good on that stage.
Yeah. Okay. And what about the role, the female entrepreneur? Maybe you have a short advice for the female founders.
I don't actually see maybe a lot of discrimination based on my gender, but of course, majority of people I'm dealing with are males. But I'm working in healthcare, so that's why maybe people it's really gender neutral domain. A lot of male and female in healthcare, so that's why I think for me, personally, for our startup, I don't see any problems on this. But of course, if you talking in general, of course, there are much less females in startups, among founders, and also in venture capital as well.
What about you, the target audience? What is the next in your pipeline? If you talk about product, because it's artificial intelligence. It's complicated.
Yeah, we have a lot of things to improve and a lot of areas to improve and to develop in orthodontics. So maybe for the nearest 5 years, 3-5 years, we will work only with orthodontics, just because we really want to compete and replace braces. But next we can go. We have a lot of data sets. We know the root position. We provide treatment planning based on the root inside the bone, and it allows us, to maybe later work with implants or with other dental domains. But right now we try to compete in this domain.
Mm-hmm. And how many competitors do you have in this niche?
A lot. So this domain, orthodontics, is growing really fast. It's the only double-digit growing domain in dentistry for the last 5 years. But our major competitors are braces. There are a lot of brands. I think that they're not really familiar to patients, just because patients usually do not know which brand of braces is being used. It's all up to the clinician to decide. And also we have aligner companies. We have some really major competitors. But still our major competitors are braces.
Interesting. And what is it different than this product? What is your competitive advantage?
We provide root and bone-based treatment planning, so it makes the treatment more predictable. So doctors, clinicians could use 3D Predict dental liners to treat complicated cases 30% faster. And so it really helps, for them to treat their patients with liners instead of braces, because adult patients, for example, many of them, they don't want, to use braces, and they are not applicable for other aligners just because those aligners cannot treat complicated cases. And patients, they choose, just to keep their bite as it is. But improper bite is not only about aesthetics, about beauty, it's also about the tooth health in general. And so using 3D Predict dental liners, doctors could help most of their patients.
Do you think it's possible to be like the really great player in this niche, and maybe like the more like the powerful mega player, like for example, I don't know, like YouTube, Amazon, Facebook, but in healthcare?
I think yes.
Artificial and plus healthcare.
Yeah, I think yes, and there are companies like multi-billion-dollar companies in orthodontics. So yeah, they're publicly traded. So yeah, first of all, there are examples, and second, there is a huge market, to grow.
And what about your CTO, this guy who want to stay in artificial intelligence?
We have a strong team which develops our tech, and actually we are a technological company, we're a tech company, and our key advantage is tech, which predicts tooth movement. And we just earn money by selling medical devices, plastic trays to orthodontists. And of course, it's our key competence, to develop tech. So we have computational mathematicians, algorithms, AI guys, so who developed and still developing and improving our tech.
And what is your next steps in 2-3 weeks?
Right now, we are about to expand on the East Coast. Just in September last year, we launched sales in tri-state area, and we saw positive traction. So right now, we would like to expand our sales from Boston to Miami. And right now, we are busy with hiring team, with preparing for this launch. So yeah.
And what about the fundraising and investors? What is your advice for the startups who want to be in fundraising?
It depends on the market. So if you know how, what's the goal? Why do you need money? Just to grow the company, and if there is a market, to grow. So, for example, in the US, it's a huge market. So that's why for our United States launch, we are raising money right now, and I think within a month we will close our first round, just because the market is huge. 5 million people start orthodontic treatment every year in the United States. So we need money for sales and marketing for scale.
Yeah, only for the marketing.
Mostly, yeah. Of course, we will need to improve our tech, and we will always improve and to scale our operations. But maybe the main reason why we are raising money, just to scale the company.
If we talk about something like the basic, the understanding technology side, what do you think? What is the next trends in the devices? So maybe telehealth, or maybe robotics. What do you think? What should be 3 next trends?
I think the devices would be more custom made, patient made, and they could be the technology, robotics or 3D printing allows now to make devices custom made for patient. And for example, the technology allows first of all to design devices which custom made to the patient, and the technology, robotics or 3D printing allows to manufacture this custom made devices. And of course, it increases the safety and the effectiveness of the treatment. If we are talking about like oncology, surgery, cardiology, or dentistry.
Okay. Actually, like the one guy sent you respect about amazing speech.
Thank you.
So great. Yeah, if you have some questions for the Marina. Yeah. By the way, thank you so much for this time. It was really great. 20 minutes.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, it was amazing. Yeah, see you next time. Let's talk about medical technology with like our investors. See you on the next week.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Have a
Yeah.
good day.
Bye
Bye.
bye.